dog is barking at landscapers. Hi. Hello, how are you? Amanda, Saint Artist. We're late. 10 minutes. Oh, 9 minutes. I thought I was 20 minutes late. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to wait for some people to get on. I'm going to switch a couple of things out. Do I want to use this? Okay, we're going to talk about all the new releases. Now, I'll wait for people to get on before I share what I did. I did something dumb. What's new? But we're gonna do our makeup, because why not? I need to. And we're going to get started. I'm just gonna put my eye cream on while we wait. This isn't a usual day, usual time, so we're probably gonna get into some weeds for a little bit. So there'll be that. But Saint has new releases. They are available Monday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Say hi when you get here. Let me know if you're on the replay, but say hi, subscribe, all things. I'm gonna try making, I should have brought my water, I have a cough. A video with some of the new releases once they get here. Oh boy. Okay, so I did make 2 orders and then I made a 3rd. Hello, Desiree, happy Friday. Okay, let's keep our people here so that we don't get into the weeds of the people that I tend to get bogged down with a lot of other people when I'm not on my usual time. Okay. Hello, Desiree. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Lee. Jack. Hi. Okay, Houston, Texas. I love Texas. All right. So, Saints new releases. I just got to get the big one out here. I'm going to grab this one because it's helpful. Hello, Donna. Yes. Okay, so we're here. We've got new releases. I'm going to do my makeup while we talk about it. And there's a few things I got, and there's some things I didn't get. I'm really disappointed in myself, but based off of what I got, I still say, oh, Lee, that's very nice. Now I'm distracted. I don't take compliments well. Anyways, I didn't get all the pencils. I figured it out while I was live unboxing yesterday. I did an unboxing in my Facebook group yesterday, and based off of how much I'm loving the eye pencils, there's just no way that you're not gonna love the lip pencils. I think there's a difference between eye pencils and lip pencils, personally. And so we're gonna go through, I'm just loading up a new palette. I got a new palette, not one of the new patterns, but one of the ones that I feel like that one and this one for fall. And then this one for fun. Oh no. Stand by. I'm getting there. And then we're going to talk about all the new releases. So, okay. New releases are so good. The Pilot Brush. Okay, love the Toffee Pencil and Pomegranate Gelato. I wish I had the Toffee Pencil, or is Toffee... Sorry, I'm trying to... Ooh, I've heard something about chai. Okay, I'm going to be redoing my smoky eye video because of things that aren't... got some weeds. Okay, the Toffee Pencil. I heard something about the chai pencil with one of the gelatos. Okay, so Saint came out with new releases. They have gelatos, which I thought would be a lot like the Juicy Lips. These are a lot softer. So when you get the gelatos, you just the tiniest bit out. I did have somebody ask if you can push them out and push. You cannot retract them back in. So keep that in mind. Really glad somebody asked me that. Okay, I just got this. This is not a new palette. This is just a good palette. This is my favorite size. This is a 12. And I got this because when you get the shiny ones like this, they're really easy to clean. And I really needed a 12. A 12 is my favorite size. I have a lot of things for my face, and then I just keep my eyeshadows together just because I go out and do a lot of makeup. Okay. The new palettes are here. I gotta go grab some because I put them away and I shouldn't have. Let's see. These guys. All right, sorry. Boop. These are the two new palette prints that we have, and they're checkerboard, really pretty. Love them so much, but my favorite one is an old favorite from when Saint was mascara, and that is the marble. And if you've ever seen my lives or my tutorials on brows, I use this one all the time. This is my brow palette, and everybody asks me about this palette. I always am getting little DMs about this one. It's my favorite pattern. I was gonna get it. I might still get this one in the triple decker, but this is, the gold actually shines, and it's so darn pretty. I've got stuff on my nails, but it's so okay. So good. All right, so we're gonna do our makeup with the new Pilot brush. This one we talked about. They are not limited, from what I understand, they are not limited edition. You wanna get the marble. The marble is my favorite. It's so pretty. It is pretty. It does not come in a size 2. Only the checkerboards will come in the size 2. So if you're wanting another little one, it's only available in this. I don't believe it's available with the marble. Get the marble. Get it in all the sizes. It's so pretty. Okay, this one I got just because it's also so pretty. I love the little raised embossment. I like the little lip clip here, and that the fact that it's easy to clean is another double bonus. Okay, so the Pilot brush I did a video on, and I asked people, share this, like this, comment on this, and I sent it off with a couple other artists. We sent it to Saint so that they could see how much people wanted this brush. It is in the black, and the black bristles are so good. They're a great soft brush. I actually kind of like the bristles on this more than the golds, but this one is such a good brush because it has an eyeshadow in it. I am going to do an eyeshadow look. I'm going to do my whole face like my makeup Mondays. All right. You have 2 sizes of the checkerboard. I do too. I have the 8, and then I believe I have it in the 18. The 18s are a very popular size. They're not too big. They're just right. You can fit your whole face on one side. You can fit just your lips over here or just eyes. I recommend keeping a layer for just powders. That's why I have the triple deckers, because I use so many. I keep my top layer for my face, the second layers for my lips, and bottom layers for my powders. All right, so we're gonna do the makeup. Primer is everything, so we're gonna go in with the primer, and then we're gonna get into this Pilot brush. But we are gonna do, I really want to play with one of these liners, and so we're going to do a smoky eye. All right, so we're going to prime our lids, prime the heck out of the lids. We're going to grab that BK Beauty brush that I like so much. I wish Saint would come out with this shape brush. I know we have the smudge brush, but it's not like this brush. All right, so we're just going to press this out. You want a nice blank canvas to start with. And we're just going to press this up and out. And the Pilot brush has the eyeshadow brush on the inside, so it has a small dense end, and then it has a nice fluffy end. But with the Pilot brush, the inside fluffy end is a little bit more dense, and it's really great. Desiree, I know you have small eyes. We've talked about it before. You'll really like that brush because it is a perfect brush for small eyes. I think it's a bit smaller than the eyeshadow brush, definitely smaller than the BK Beauty Small Eyes collection. It's such a good brush. Okay, I need to find... Let me grab my bag. I just did makeup yesterday, so all my stuff is packed. And that's what I was talking about yesterday. So every Wednesday, I have an appointment where I go and do someone's makeup for presentations. And so it's always ready to go. That's what's kind of nice about it too, is that if you just need to pick up and go, this is the makeup that helps you pick up and go. All right, the first color I'm gonna go into is different than I usually do because of the look I'm going for today. And I'm going into Pup, and this is gonna be my powder base. And we're gonna press this from lash pretty much to brow bone, just above the crease. And this is just basically my primer. Gives me a surface. It cancels out all the discoloration. It gives me a nice blank canvas. But the powder that I'm putting on top, which is typically Cupcake, today it's Pup. This is more true to my skin tone. And this is giving me a blending surface. Powders blend best with powders. And so you want a nice blending surface. All right, now I'm gonna go into Drift. This is my favorite shimmer. I find it to be a little bit softer and a little higher fleck than Rome and Sabrina. And I'm just gonna press this up under my brow bone, or up under my brow. This is just gonna give the illusion of a little lift. A shine just pulls things out a little bit more. All right, so now that that's done, we're gonna get into the Pilot brush. Got so many things, and then we're gonna dig into all of these eye brushes. I will make my own separate video with each. I'll do a gelato one. I'm going to do one with the what I consider the eye pencils. Lemon Drop is your new favorite shimmer. It is so pretty. I love that one too. Okay, you're from Seattle. I'm from Oregon. What's up, neighbor? All right, so going into the Pilot brush, these nestle and they don't click together, they squeeze together. Okay, hello, Sandra. All right, so this is the eyeshadow brush on the inside. I like the thickness of the handle. I like it's much thicker than their regular brushes. Let me find an eyeshadow brush. Here we go. So this is the fluffy end of the eyeshadow brush with the Pilot brush, and you'll see it's shorter, and so it makes it a little bit more dense. It's still, and it blends, I think, better. All right. The other end, they're pretty much the same. This one is, again, a little bit shorter, and it works great. I'm going to do my smoky eye look that I did a while ago, and then we'll get started. But again, it's going to be the black brush, and I love the way the bristles work with the black brush. All right, we're just going to clean off some excess makeup off of this. And I am going to go into my pressed pigments here. And I'm going to go into Santa Fe. It's my replacement for Leo, okay? And we're going to tap into this with the fluffy end. And I'm going to go up here. So when you have a bit of hood, sorry, I'm very scattered. There's a lot going on outside of the YouTube world. But I have a heavy droop. So I like to keep my transition shade up on this area of my brow bone. And this is just going to help hide the hooding. And there we go. And so when I add this on, this is more going to be a transition shade that's a peekaboo, and it's going to play into a nice, it's my deep but sweet smoky eye. And I'm using colors that are actually still available. So we're just pushing this up and over. I'm going to zoom in because I'm usually more zoomed in, but we're going to push this up and over just like that. See that? And I just like that little touch of warmth. And then we're going to add a touch of crimson to it. I don't think we have crimson still available. We'll find out, but I have these pressed pigments here I can use. But just keeping this outward, it's going to give your eyes some lift. And when you start getting of an age, and this new makeup line is perfect for the of an age of us, of an age of us. It makes sense to me. Let me see if crimson is still an option. Negative. Okay, we're going to go back into the pressed pigments, and I'm going to go into the color Honeymoon. It's a really pretty pomegranate reddish burgundy color. Okay, I'll see you later, Donna. Have a good day. Okay, so we're going to tap into some crimson. These are pressed pigments. Don't look at them as anything other than a matte finish shadow, okay? And we're going to go right at the base of this color here, of this Santa Fe. And this is just going to be a bit of warmth, and it's just going to go above the crease, right at the base. And if you need to go into the crease just for extra drop off of color, do it. It's fine. We're going to be covering anything on the lid. Don't worry about out pressing your colors too far out. If you go onto your lid, that's okay. We're going to be putting another color there. So we're just going to press this out here. And we're going to keep blending it. This brush, being a bit more dense than the eyeshadow brush, presses things out so good. And so I don't mind bringing this way too far out because, one, I'm doing this before the rest of my makeup, but you see the way it enhances my hood. I know a lot of people say I'm not hooded, but from here, this guy right here tells me I'm something. All right. So we're just going to tap into Honeymoon again, and I hold my brush up and down and I hit that brow bone, and then I stay above the crease. And I'm not worrying about if it's on the lid. We're going to be putting black on today. And we have a new pencil that goes on like butter, smudges seamlessly, and then it sets. It sets so good. You have to have a makeup melt to remove it. And I'll be able to show you on my arm and how much you can rub the crud out of it. You're not going to have an issue with transferring. but the way that it applies and smudges and sets is so good for mature to maturing eyes, or maturing to mature eyes. Okay, from here we're gonna go into our liner. We're going into it. So let's go over the liners. I'm gonna take off my watch and we're gonna dig into the liners. Okay, so with the liners, I only got the silks. You kind of have to work your mind in reverse when you're thinking about these liners, because I would think that the satins would stay and the silks would glide, but it's backwards, okay? So we're gonna go into the pencils first, the gelatos will be last. So the pencils, they twist up and they're so moldable. So this color is caramel, all right? This is a very moldable product, so you can press it over really easy and press it back in, so you don't have to sharpen it. If you get it down to the nub, you just are gonna twist it up, and it does retract back down, okay? But once it gets down and it's more flat, you can get a paper towel or just your finger and you can press it to a point so that you can get this on. All right, so this is caramel, and I'm going to press this. There we go. All right, so we're gonna put this on, and then I'll be able to show you how it sets. But this stuff goes on super soft, okay? Super, super soft. Goes on like butter, and it blends out like butter, and then it will set. So you gotta work with them really quick. And when I say really quick, I mean waterline, get your brush, and if you're gonna be smoking it around any area, you need to have that brush ready. All right, the next color, trying to keep these from lighter to darker. The next color I'm gonna go into is Chai. I heard this is actually very nice on the lips, but again, you gotta work with it really quick. So this is Chai. Really nice. If you're looking for a good, I put these on as an eyeshadow yesterday. I just grabbed a brush and I tapped onto it, and I was able, well, I don't wanna do that there, but I was able to put it on like an eyeshadow, and it blended out really nice with the brush, and it didn't crease. The only thing that did crease was I put Drift on my lid. That creased, but this stuff did not crease, and I didn't have any primer on. Okay, the next color I'm gonna go into, so I have caramel, I have Chai, and then this is Latte. They're all coffee named. So this is Latte. I like it a latte. If you're looking for some good brown liners, I get brown liners all the time, and they're just never quite dark enough. These are great products, especially if you have hooded eyes, if you have mature lids, and you're worried about creasing and transferring to the top, they won't. All right, the next color that I'm gonna go into is Cappuccino. We're gonna pop that on. This one's a little more cool toned than this one right here. Very nice. Trying to make sure that I get these, keep these in some kind of order. All right, this one is Espresso. So here is Espresso. This one's gonna be a little more brown. Very pretty. Reminds me a lot of, and the next one that I use, these ones are so similar, you don't need both. So if you have Espresso, if you get Espresso, you don't need cinnamon. And if you get cinnamon, you don't need espresso, all right? Because they are going to be the same. They remind me of, how am I not? Philly. I don't need to look now. These remind me of Philly. So if you liked Philly with a damp brush, there's only, I want to say this one's a bit warmer than that one, but seriously, they're the same. I feel like these are kind of the same as well, but they remind me of Philly. If you liked Philly as a liner, but you just wish it was a bit deeper once you put it on your lid, these are your brushes. All right, so espresso and cinnamon are the same, the way that cappuccino and latte are the same. And now we've got black. They called it black, okay? This one is, this is the one I played with a lot yesterday. They make a really easy wing. It smokes out really nice. These are so good. And they go on so well. All right, so I'm going to get my etch brush right here, and I'm going to have my eyeshadow ready. Okay, so get a little magnifying mirror out. All right, where is it? Which one? Well, that one. Okay, we're gonna take this and we're gonna waterline. And again, these do retract in, the gelatos do not. but these ones do. And I'm going to start by waterlining at the top because we're gonna do a bit of a smoky eye, and I really like having the smoky eye go all the way to my waterline. And I'm bringing this farther in than I want to because I want to see if it transfers to the lower lid for y'all. But the way that these set is so great. I can already feel the tackiness, but it's such a good deep black, okay? And then on the outer half, I'm gonna really press this from the bottom up into the lashes. And it's okay if this transfers to your lid. It helps. I'm actually gonna move to my lid now, and I'm gonna go in really smooth. You barely have to touch your skin, all right? And I'm gonna try to move rather quickly. I'm gonna go across my lash line here about halfway, and I'm gonna add a little more to this outer part, and then I'm gonna go grab my etch brush. But look at how dark that is. If you're looking for, and that's why I say, if you wanna go grab cinnamon or espresso, you will have a bit of a softer shade. So I'm just gonna smoke this across the lashes here, just pulling it over, and it blends without tugging on your skin. And that's a big deal for me. And so I'm just gonna smoke this out. I'm gonna blur the edge, and it starts setting really, really fast. All right, so you can stop here and just have a nice, really good thick, and you can put this on thin or more. Hello, Alice. And you can add that on. Next, I'm gonna go into, I really don't wanna use this brush for this, but we're gonna go in on the short end of my eyeshadow brush on the inside of the Pilot brush. And now I'm gonna go into the color Salem, which is our black eyeshadow. Mine looks like this because I've gotten it wet. All right, we're gonna press on and be so careful. And this is why we do our makeup first, or our eyes first, because fallout's gonna mess up my makeup. Okay, you're gonna get cinnamon. You will love cinnamon. All right, a lot of people feel that black gets too harsh when you have mature lids. Go get yourself cinnamon, or what was it again? Espresso. Or we're gonna take that black powder, we're gonna tap this over that pencil that I put on, and it's gonna give a little stick to it. And then we're gonna start moving it outward and onto the lid. I'm gonna focus it on the outer part here, and then I'm gonna work my way in. But the power is in the primer, okay? Power is in the primer. I'm really gonna focus on packing this in on this outer part here, and then I'm gonna work my way in and let it slowly fade. And we're gonna make this soft and sweet, smoky eye. A lot of people don't feel like it can be done, but it can. But you wanna let it fade in. You don't wanna deepen this inner part. It's gonna shrink your eye. And we're just gonna press this outward into that crease right there, and you just barely want it. You gotta rest your eye because you can see the pull of my hood here. We're gonna bring that up on above the crease, right at the base of that fold of your skin, and then you can go in and fill it in. But you wanna be able to have that smokiness creep up into Honeymoon and Santa Fe, and you want these to just have a slow burn. All right, flipping to the fluffy, and we're just going to give this a blenderoo, and this just marries them all together. And I'm just hitting this right at the base of that black, and then I can go in and I can smudge in and fill in any creases on my maturing lids. I'm 44, they're maturing, they aren't 20. So let's not come at me. So I just am gonna take this. I love that this is thick. I feel like I can get a really good handle on it. You'll really like a good thick handled brush, all right? And then we're gonna take whatever's left here, and we're gonna go right down here. This look is not for everyone, and I may have to wash my face after this because I gotta go be a coach. I'm just taking what's left and I'm just putting it onto the bottom here. All right, we're gonna grab black again, and we're gonna move on to the other eye. And this all comes together with the rest of your face also. All right, so we're gonna push this on, and this sets so, so, so well. And I still have the swatches on my arm where I can prove it. And I'm bringing it in extra, but will you see there's no transfer right here? No transfer. So if you're looking for an eyeliner that is soft, goes on like a dream, especially if you have maturing lids or you have a lot of movement or you have hooded eyes, and that fold gets a line transfer from your liner, you're going to love these pencils. You will love these pencils. They're so good. All right, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna go and push into my lash line here. And we are gonna push this on top of the lashes and make it a little thick. You don't have to make it perfect because again, we're smoking it out and covering it all up. I'm gonna take that etch brush and we're just pushing this along the lash line because I don't like when there's a line between my waterline and my top line when I put on my mascara. And so we're just smoking this out. This blends out nice, but you'll definitely be able to tell when things start setting. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Grabbing that dense end of the eyeshadow brush, pressing into Salem, tapping some off, and we're gonna tap right onto that liner. And it's gonna give it some stick to hold to help with that smoky eye. And again, we're just gonna build this outward and upward and just build and grab as you need. But I really focus this on the outer part of the lid and just a little on above that crease on that base of that skin fold, and then just blending it inward, but not too dark on that inner corner. You want it to have a little life to it. And then we're gonna take that fluffy end and you're just gonna give everything a good blend to marry that Santa Fe to that honeymoon to the black. But I'm just gonna push this up and you just gotta rest your face to see where things lie. Okay, and then just getting into those folds and those creases. This inside brush to the pilot brush, both ends are shorter so they are a bit dense, but they get into those little nooks that you've been trying to work with a super fluffy brush. Okay, I'm gonna take and put a little bit down here. Okay, I'm gonna go into, because this is deep, into the color Basic, which I believe we still have, right? Yep, Basic right here. I use this one, I've hit 10. We're just gonna rub our finger onto it, get that brown, and we're gonna tap onto the mid and work our way to the inner part of the lid here. All right, just taking that Basic, and this is gonna make it turn a shade of gray, and that's where it softens it up, okay? We're softening up that smoky eye, and we're just gonna press that onto the mid of the lid, work our way inward. And I prefer to do this with the finger. You get a bit more control and better transfer from product to lid. And it just softens it right up. And then we're gonna go into our mascara. Are we with me here? Are we staying with me? I'm gonna take my black fluffy brush and I'm just gonna sweep up any fallout because there definitely is. And this is why, I'm gonna zoom in. This is why we do our eyeshadow first, so that when you get fallout, you can clean it up afterwards. Okay, so we're gonna do some mascara. I use FanFest by Benefit. Let's zoom back in and see how it changes the eye. All right, we're gonna wiggle this into the base and up. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle up. And I start on the outside, go in, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle up. I do still need to make a video on my mascara application. Anytime you reload, give it a little whirl and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle up. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle up. Building at the base will give you the illusion of volume, but it'll also give the illusion of eyeliner. And then we're just gonna work on building on top of product. And once it starts getting tacky, stop, because that's when clumping starts. But you always wanna be working in an upward and outward motion. You don't need to worry about trying to coat your lashes all the way to the top, because that's when you get transfer onto your lid by trying to go to the tips of your lashes from the bottom. Instead, come down from the top, curl and pull. Down, curl and pull. That coats the tips, and then you can worry about building on top of the tips of that product. And again, once it starts tacking, stop. And you'll get that curl. I don't curl my lashes with a curler because those things scare me. Those things scare me. Okay, so we're gonna wiggle at the base and pull, wiggle at the base, middle, pull, go to the inside, wiggle at the base, pull. Also, if you hit your eye and you blink and you get it down here, just let it dry and leave it. Going back out to the outside, wiggle, 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 pull, and then just start building. Building, building, building. Don't worry about the tips of the lashes. All you're doing right now is trying to build volume of product to build volume of lashes. I'm 44, my lashes are thinning, and that's just how it is. All right, whirl, and we're gonna go down, curl away and out, and that just builds on the tips, and then we can rebuild on top of that product. It's the best way to try to avoid getting mascara on your lids. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit to the bottom lash, like that, not a lot. Okay, you always do your eyes first, yes. Oh yeah, you can definitely get, I don't have any of those wipes, I just end up using the balm. So I'm gonna go into my palette here, I'm gonna go into balm. So one of the products that Saint is releasing on Monday is the balm in a pot. I always call it a pot, it's just like a little pot. I don't even have one with me anymore. I didn't buy it because I like having the balm. First off, I believe it's $25, and I think that that is too much. This is a good way to clean up. Plus our makeup will help clean it up. But adding hydration, the balm is the balm. I would just rather pay, I want to say $7 less and get it in a tin in my palette. If I have it in a pot, that's one more thing in my bag and I don't want to. But in the pot, it will have that peach scent. Now the peach scent I loved. It smells like that peach candy and I loved it. It's not for everyone though. So you can get the tin for $18 and it's unscented for your palette, or you can get the pot for I believe $25 and it's in a pot and it smells like peach. I just think if you're looking to get the most bang for your buck, skip the balm pot because you can get this guy too. There's so many good products. Okay, I bumped something. Okay, so we're gonna get into the swatches now. These, look, I'm lightly rubbing them and now I'm harder rubbing them. I'm pulling. I am pulling. All right, these stay. Like if you're gonna listen to anything, if you're looking for the eyeliner that stays, doesn't stray, if you want a waterline without transfer to your lower lash line, this is your liner. If you're looking for something because you don't want transfer onto your hood, this is your liner. If you want something that goes on smooth with your mature lids, this is your liner, okay? This is also something I used as my contour for my lips, which I will be doing. This is your liner because once you eat lunch, it all goes away. You have oily, so do I. I have oily skin, okay? The e.l.f. green stuff doesn't work. Do you recommend, what do you mean the e.l.f. green stuff, Darcy, when you say the e.l.f. green? Is that green for redness? Is that green, what do you mean? So these are the silk. I didn't get the satins because I didn't see the tab, but I ordered them. They've already shipped. I'm hoping, oh, the face primer. I prefer Milk Hydro Grip, but oily skin, we're gonna talk about that. I do have a tutorial and I'm gonna make a new one that's geared towards oily skin. I like doing videos for skin types, but it's all about primers. It's all about the way you set your makeup. It's really about the way you set your makeup that makes the biggest difference. Primer, you can forget. I forget my primer all the time. It's about the way you set your makeup. I also think get the travel size of the Milk Hydro Grip and try it. I really like it. And again, I am oily. Look at this. Look at that it's greasy. And yesterday I shaved my face. Yesterday I scrubbed my face with an exfoliant. I was shiny. I was like a bowling ball yesterday if you went on my live on my Facebook. But anyways, liners, you can use these as an eyeshadow and they will not crease without primer. They will not crease. So they're really, really good. But these do not. They might lighten but you shouldn't be doing this on your eye. First off, you're just gonna speed up the maturity. Okay, the toffee you got is a satin. The satin smudge. The satins are really, I didn't get them. I'm hoping I get them Monday morning. And so I'm gonna go from kid drop off to the post office, hope against hope that they have it ready for me. And I wanna try to be doing a video before the release on Monday. But the way I love these, I know I'm gonna love the lip. I'm a lip liner girl. If you're a lip liner person, go get the lip liners. They're great, they're moldable, they're so good, and there's a bit more variety. Okay, so now we're gonna dig into the face. We're gonna use the Pilot brush, And a lot of people had asked me if the fluffy end of the eyeshadow brush for the Pilot brush is hard to put in. Absolutely not. It's actually easier than the actual brush because it's not quite as fluffy. Okay, can you use the Milk Spray Hydro Grip for primer for setting? Yes. Wait, can you use the Milk Hydro Grip primer for set? Yes, I think it's important to understand if it's a hydrating set, which I think is great. So the Plush and Prep Mist by Saint. Stand by. Let me get into my other makeup bag here for when I do makeup. This is a great thing to get with points. So it goes up like a cube and it holds a lot of stuff, but then it opens up and you don't have to worry about your brushes rolling away. So that's available with points, and it was great for any kind of makeup. Okay, so anything you buy, setting sprays, primers, hair products, if it's in a travel size, use that first, because if you don't like it, you haven't committed to a full price. I've gotten this one. This is the Professionals Super Setter. It's a good one. Get it in the travel size to try. Something more affordable, thank me later. You can get it on Amazon for $15. That's a really great one. My tried and true for oily skin is this one. I get it off of Amazon also. It's Blue Marble, and it is a film forming spray. And if you find that this doesn't work for you, or if you have a setting spray that you love, get yourself a brush. I just get a fluffy brush. This is the one I use because I got it for free from Beauty Society. But I will spray. I do this for my gal. I'll do her makeup the day before she has a presentation and she sleeps in her makeup. And this is what I use for her. I get the Professionals. I spray my brush and I go over her face with it. And this is how I prime her skin. So you can use the Milk Hydro Grip, or you can take a setting spray. I recommend a brush and pat that into your skin as a primer, and it'll work really well. This is what I use as her primer, and then I use this as her setter, and she went 2 days in the makeup I put on. She loves it. Absolutely loves the way that her makeup stays. Okay, so we're gonna go into the Pilot brush. It just goes in and it squeezes together. It doesn't lock. It just is a very tight fit. So when I'm putting on the lid or the end over the fluffy end, I push on one side, so it goes like this. I go down on one side and push away, and then it goes right in. And I've had this brush for 1.5 years, and this is what the bristles look like, and I've been using the heck out of it for the last week. I have a hard time using brushes when people can't get them, so I don't make a lot of tutorials with them, but this is my travel brush because it's everything in one place. All right. There you go. Get yourself a good makeup melt. I believe e.l.f. has a great makeup melt. I use Beauty Societies and I love it, and that's how I take this off. I have to go make a new video because the one I did yesterday for my Facebook group is all messed up. But I'm going to make a video of me putting these on, rubbing these off, and how I remove it. But even when I put this on as an eyeshadow, it don't come off. So it lasted a long time. Okay, so putting our makeup on, we're gonna start on the short end. We're gonna go into Aspen and we're gonna lighten the red. Now I talk about it all the time, but we're here doing tutorials, so we're gonna talk about, my face is angry at me too. But we're just gonna go over the red and we're gonna mute it down. And then we're going to go into the broken capillaries. And this also is great for if you have large pores. It's really good. Also, these brushes are great. Not brushes, I'm sorry. These liners are great for brows. I will be doing my brows with them. Okay, going into walnut contour. This is gonna be for my hyperpigmentation, my stuff right here. I use this to hide and camouflage it. And we just go up and down. And this is just basically turning our skin a similar tone to the stuff. Does that make sense? Saint makeup is great because one, I love that they're kind of getting out of the palette because there's only so much you can put in a palette. And these you can't put in a tin. They'll dry out, you'll never be able to use them. So this way they're usable in so many different ways, but you can only do so much with a palette. I really like these products, all right? But these are $16 a color. Your regular foundation doesn't cost that much. Your regular foundation has about 20% pigmentation. If you're using a different brand, I have Hourglass. This is the other cream foundation that I do really like, but this one is 40 something dollars, I believe. 40% pigmentation. Saint is 80% pigmentation. So everything in here is foundation. Everything. Okay, sorry if you said this already. How is the density of the Pilot brush compared? Exactly the same. I think the bristles will be softer because I find that the black brush bristles are softer. I love this brush more than the silver brush. I'm hoping they come out with black brushes because the bristles are they remind me of the mascara brushes if you ever used them. They're so good. All right, going into that walnut, but the density is the same. So it is going to be a medium to full coverage brush, but I would say pair it with the shape brush. I use both of these together all the time, but this brush is just so good. So this just helps hide that hyperpigmentation I have to give me a starting point. Now I did the balm under my eyes. I also used my favorite morning eye cream. So my under eyes, if you have maturing to mature under eyes, a lot of puffiness, fine lines, wrinkles, if you have a deep trough, you want to hydrate that. You want to add hydration onto it because it's going to enhance things rather than accentuate things, which is the name of the game. Okay, and so I put that hydration underneath. I'm going to go into Frenchie because it does more than one thing. We already know this. I just did a video on it, and I updated all my color match letters, and all my color matches have been sent. I'm so excited. I was behind. All right, so we're going to tap this over my discoloration. It's going to turn it a bit more pink, but that's going to work with my under eye concealer that I'm going to use. I'm not going to use a Saint concealer because I want to show that this also works with other things. All right, so we're going to tap into Frenchie. I get darkness right here, and I'm just going to tap over that darkness. I prefer Frenchie over Saint's cream correctors purely because of price point. I don't want to spend over $20 for something that does one thing. I'd rather spend $16, and this can be a lip color, this could be a blush color, and this is my under eye corrector. And you get twice the size than the cream correctors, and they're $22 rather than $16. So we're just taking that Frenchie under the eye, and we're just neutralizing the tones. So all the correcting is done. Correcting is like the mute button on your TV. You can still watch your show, but the sound is down. So the color is neutralized. You still see what's going on though. All right, so we're gonna stay on this short end right here. And we're gonna go into, I'm gonna use 3 colors right now because I'm transitioning from summer to winter. So this color right here is my summer color, Hazel. This is one of my winter shades. I would say early winter before I go to Candle. This is Athens. I'm gonna take my summer shade and I'm gonna go over my scarring here. I always like using a color that's a little bit darker than my actual skin tone right here. And then I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go into the pointy end of Aspen. I'm gonna neutralize the red. You see that? I'm gonna take that summer color and I'm gonna go over any breakouts. Any of my breakouts, just for a little added. I've got a lot of breakouts right now. My skin is hating me right now, okay? Next color, I'm gonna go over to my more winter shade, Athens. You never wanna sweep through. These colors are tiny but mighty because they have the 80% pigmentation, which you're never gonna get 80% pigmentation for $16. 2 together. You can find 80% pigmentation probably, but it's not gonna be 16 bucks. You can find makeup for $16 or less, but it's not gonna have 80% pigmentation. But you get both here and it fits into one place. All right, so we're gonna take that Athens color and we're gonna just balance. We're just gonna balance things out here. So I'm gonna go over my hyperpigmentation there. I'm gonna come up the beard and I'm just neutralizing and balancing out my skin where I'm not blushing and bronzing and contouring. So down and around my mouth, into the crook of my nose, and then we're bringing that down and I'm letting it mix onto that Hazel summer shade. And look at that pretty balance. The thing with creams is it's gonna give you a skin-like hydrating finish. If you feel like your skin has been dulling with age, get yourself a cream makeup because it's gonna pull that life back into your skin. Grabbing a little bit more Hazel. Now, Athens. My bristles aren't like chunked together. And we're gonna go over any discoloration. Mine's always right here. And then I come up and I'm coming down, and then I'm bringing it upward into that hazel color, and then down and around my mouth, into the crook here. I don't put cream to crease because it's going to crease. Anytime you have creasing with your makeup, it's because there's texture there, and it's doubling it because when you smile, you're gonna double pushing things together, and it can gather it, or it can crack it apart if you have one of those makeups that's set. It's like a little earthquake on your face. Pulls it apart. Okay, so we're just gonna push this around just like that. Bring it down your neck after you've done all that, because your neck's always lighter than your face. Okay, we're gonna switch to the pointy end, and I'm gonna go into this shade here. This is Sunlit, and this is my brightening shade. This is gonna be the reflecting light you see on my face. So I'm gonna go right here. This is a couple shades lighter than my skin tone, and I make it a little flower here, like a little flower that grows out of my chin. The stem. And I just add a touch here, not a lot, but a touch. I want it to accentuate and enhance my Cupid's bow in a really pretty way. I want it to look like reflecting light on my chin. I'm gonna switch to this big end, and we're just gonna press this between the brows and over the brows, and then up about halfway. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're still gonna contour, but this adds such a good like reflecting light look. All right, I'm gonna flip it. We're gonna do the under eyes different. We're gonna go to the next level, and this is my contour cedar. This bad boy can't be melted, but all these other colors can be. It's just that my bronzer is Xanadu, and it has shimmer in it. And if I melt it, they'll fall to the bottom and it won't be shimmery anymore. And I love it. So we're gonna go with this pointy end here. We're gonna grab some of that, and I'm just stamping it, contour, and we're gonna put it in our contour zones. All right, a little bit of contour here, a little bit of contour here. I'm gonna tap, I put all that correcting here. So we're gonna go at the top, just below the temple. We're gonna bring it down. I'm gonna tap that on, all right? And you could do this with your finger, but we're just gonna tap that on. And this is gonna be above the natural shadow, because if we put it right into the shadow, it's gonna pull our face down. So we're gonna go hyperpigmentation, just gonna, every color I pick. So when you wanna be color matched, all I need is a makeup-free selfie, because I wanna be able to see your skin the way I look at my skin. And I'm gonna pick colors based off of your tones. For my nose, I'm gonna use my finger. I prefer cool tones, especially on the nose, just because otherwise I go full Oompa Loompa. I start at the bottom half, and then I work my way up. And this is just gonna slim things out. If it touches, it's no big deal. We're gonna fix it anyway. I have a bump on my nose, so I do bring it together. But this is just gonna slim things down. Grabbing that, and I'm going in front of my earlobe and down here. Give myself a little chisel, hide that other, I don't know what this is, a jowl. Lovely. I blend this immediately or I forget. And then it just looks like you got a big old smear of mud on your face. But going in front of that earlobe gives that nice little chisel right here. And then bringing it down. We're gonna switch to this more short end, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna bring this together, just grabbing from both sides. And then I go in a big circle here, and I bring it to the outer part of my brow, right here. And this works really, cedar is a color, cedar, stone, ash, and olive are colors that are contours. They're dense, so they're gonna stay. That's why I like using aspen and walnut as my correctors on my face, because they're dense and my makeup's gonna stay where I put it over top. Kind of like I did with my eyeliner with that black. All right, we're gonna bring this down. We're just tapping because we have correcting here. And you wanna have colors that work with discoloration, not things that grab and pull it together. I have a contour called Indigo. It's this one right here. This one will pull your hyperpigmentation through, your freckles through, and so it doesn't work quite as well. It used to be my favorite. It's my favorite lip liner, but I had to stop using it as my contour because as I was getting older, my hyperpigmentation was pulling through, and so it is what it is. All right, we're gonna tap out the nose just to soften things up. Bing, 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 bing. We're gonna take this pointy end. We're gonna go into that brightening shade. So pinch it and tap it, and then we're gonna go right down the middle. Boop. Doesn't have to be perfect, so we're just gonna grab our finger. We're just gonna brighten that bridge. And it just straightened everything out, highlights things in a nice way. I think you get a little more control tapping with your finger than you do with a brush. Okay. Blush. There's a new balm I'm gonna show it because if you have dry skin, balanced skin, if you're combination but you're dry on this side because you're combination, this is a great blush. If you are oily or your combination where it's greasy out here, I don't recommend. I think it lifts the makeup and I don't like it. If you have a lot of stuff on your cheeks like I do, I wouldn't recommend this as a blush. So I'm not gonna put it on as a blush. But this color Blackberry is black, but it goes on and it's pH'd. So we're gonna grab it, it's clear. We're gonna grab it and you can put it on your lips and it works as a balm, but it works with your pH and it's like mood gloss, all right? And so it's gonna work with your pH. Some people it pulls really bright, vibrant pink. For me, it pulls more plum. Everybody's different, but it also just depends on the day for me because yesterday I put this on and it pulled more pink, but today it's pulling more plum. So keep that in mind, but this stuff is really great for your lips. I really love it. I highly recommend this. I would pick this over the balm in the pot. I think because of all of the gelatos, I would stick with the balm for your under eyes, but this guy, I know a lot of people are curious about it, but look, it's very pretty and it works with your pH, so it's always gonna be a balanced, good look for your lips, okay? So very nice, I really like it. It takes a while for it to start pulling pigment out, but yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to get into that. It is unscented, so it doesn't smell like blackberries, it is unscented. All right, going on to the cheeks. I'm gonna go into Frenchie like I did with my under eyes. I'm gonna go over my scarring here and I'm just gonna add a bit of peach. This is gonna add just a natural flushness, but it's also gonna work with my stuff. And then I can use whatever darn blush I want. I really like using the Odd Couple. This is Rosewood and this is Haze. Haze is available with points. So I'm just gonna grab Rosewood. It's nice and warm. It's the fall color. This is your fall blush if you're looking for a fall blush. I'm gonna go into, they say that this is a satin. I think it's more of a semi-gloss, and I'm just gonna tap a little bit of that on top of that Rosewood. And then we're gonna take the short end and I'm gonna smile, because as you get older, you lose volume on your apples, and we're just gonna tap this out, just like that. You're not gonna find another makeup that blends like this. You're just not. It's so good and such a good price point. This is babysitter fund makeup. So if you have a teen that babysits and wants to have good makeup, go get Saint Makeup. They'll love it. Their school pictures will look better than everybody's. Okay, I am going to set my makeup before I do my under eyes. And again, I prefer Milk Hydro because look at me. I'm an oily girl, and you should have makeup that looks dewy on your skin, but I go from dew to grease quick. So I'm gonna take a film forming spray more than a hydrating spray because I'm greasy. I don't need extra hydration. Film forming spray. You're gonna get your face good and damp. Set that there. And then you need to get a good, where'd it go? Oh, where'd you go? I have it in a different palette and I don't know what I did with it. Oh, it's right here. I like the blotting dust, especially for oily skin, because oily skin grabs that matte setting powder and it thickens it, and it's gonna accentuate your texture, which you don't wanna do. So your skin is a texture. If you're slapping filters on, you're still gotta walk out of your house and go to the store. So walk out with confidence. Makeup is for us. It's not for anyone else. It's not for the guy who thinks that all women at the store have done their makeup for him. Trust me, we've seen them here in my comment section. But we do our makeup for us. I had somebody yesterday send me a match and they said, I just wanna feel pretty in my makeup. That is exactly how we pick your colors. We pick the colors that are gonna give you the confidence on what you're looking for in your makeup. That's why I ask if you like full coverage to light coverage. And I'll pick brushes based off of that. I think you get a lot of control with this, but do pair it with something like a shape brush. But you should be picking your makeup for what's gonna make you feel your best, because the best thing you can wear with your makeup is confidence. A smile goes a long way. I mean, we can cover up mass depression with a smile, for crying out loud. Confidence is key. Fake it till you make it. Practice makes perfect, but feeling your best is going to be the best accessory with your makeup. And so that's why I talk about this makeup so much. I don't love the way they transition to an affiliate program, but there's not a better makeup out there, which is why I didn't leave. I'm not one of the ones that jumped ship and then came back because they're out there and they're high sellers. I didn't leave even though my biscuit was burnt. And it's because it's good makeup. It's good, it's affordable. Makeup will always look like makeup, but it should look like good makeup. Anyways, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Anyway, the thing with this powder, it has, do you see that? That's what makes this better than, say, is it in here or is, nope, that's not it. Where is it? Stand by, I'm coming. Vanilla Dust. This is the other powder, and this I don't want on my skin. You can see every print on my finger here, but do you see the difference? That's the difference for me. So we're gonna take a fluffy brush. I'm gonna use a shape brush, and I'm gonna go into my blotting dust. I keep 2 in a palette too. And I start at the top and work my way down, but this is still going to set your makeup, and it's gonna pull that grease look off and let your skin have that reflecting skin look. Makeup will always look like makeup. It should look like good makeup. So we're gonna take that again. I'm gonna start at my temple, and I'm gonna go over where I talk on my phone, and then I'm gonna come down here. I get so greasy right in this area right here, but my skin still has that skin sheen. I don't look like a chalkboard. My pores are not accentuated, just like that. Okay, you may have to touch this up if you are oily. It's makeup, not magic, but this is gonna give you the longevity. So if you have oily skin, get a film forming setting spray and a good setting powder. I've tried the Laura Mercier and I do love it. I do think it's a great option. I do like it better than that Vanilla Dust, but I don't like it more than blotting dust. This one is my go-to because it keeps people looking like themselves. The skin still looks like skin. Okay, for under eyes, I'm going to go in with my Incognito. This has anti-aging in it. It's so good. We're gonna go to this natural shine here, and we're gonna go up the orbital bone. I'm gonna add a dash. This is gonna clean up this eye. I'm gonna go into where I'm dark, and I'm tapping this over. I'm gonna go into my trough, but I am not, I'm gonna go right here too, because lightness pulls out, so I do like to bring this down a little bit. I'm not adding it to my soft tissue because it's a high texture area, all right? So we're gonna grab this, and we're gonna start here, again, going up that orbital bone, into this dark little area here. I'm gonna bring it down my smile line. It's gonna give it a little lift. We're gonna clean up this eyeshadow look here, and then going into the trough right here. This is light, you can see through it. I'm gonna take the pointy end of the Pilot brush. The other thing about this is I made a video on it and I have not edited it yet. The difference between Incognito and Tarte, which is another very popular one. This is the Tarte Creamy. Anytime you're using a traditional concealer under your eyes, hydrate the crud out of it. Get a balm. If you have an Aquaphor stick, use that. If you have a good under eye cream, use that. If you have balm, use that. But prep your soft tissue with hydrating balm. Do it, okay? I am using Saint Makeup. This right here is Beauty Society's Incognito, and it has anti-aging in it, which at 44, I'll take it, all right? But this has movability, whereas Tarte, it starts setting, which is why you'll notice crepiness. You'll notice it starts separating. You're gonna notice cracking. Not even really creasing, cracking. Creasing, I like. I'll take creasing. Would you rather creasing or cracking of your makeup? Creasing, because that means there's movability and it can be reset. Cracking means it's stuck, it didn't, and then it came apart and you can't push it back together because it's set and it's mattifying. And for that, that's gonna show on your pores and that's gonna show on your creases, your smile lines. This guy right, I did some Botox, some Photox it turns out, so it's already wearing off. But I crack. I do have a website. There's a link in the description. Please send me a color match. There's a form to fill out. Yes, let's do a color match. It sits beautifully. I'm 44. Okay, so if your makeup's creasing, you can press it out with your fingers. Okay, so we're gonna take the pointy end of this new Pilot brush and we're gonna go into that smile line. You're gonna go into that natural smile or shine of your smile. And we're gonna go up that orbital bone. We're gonna clean up right here. You wanna add that brightening right here. This is what's gonna give that, look at how it just lifts, okay? You're gonna go into that inner crease. The last place we blend this stuff to is the soft tissue because you don't want a lot of product on that under eye. It's really about changing what's going on around it to enhance what's going on in that soft tissue. Because if you put too much product on any texture, it accentuates the texture. And so less is more, but I'm telling you, this stuff will set, this will crack, and you can't reset it. Incognito, you can, all right? But if you want that hydrating look and you're still gonna love Tarte, get a base of balm. It's gonna change the look of Tarte and it's gonna make it last better and look better longer. Not all the way through the day, this stuff will, but it'll help. All right, so again, starting at that smile line, pressing that in, adding that brightness. You don't have to go as low as I did. I just like to give a little lift to my smile line without adding a little filler. I'm not gonna do that. I don't wanna look like a chipmunk. So we're going into that inner corner. You're tapping this, okay? You're tapping, 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 going up right here, cleaning up that shadow, giving your eye that little bit of lift. I mean, once you get to an age, you're lifting everything. You're getting special pants for your butt, special bras for your boobs, and special makeup for your face, okay? So it's just the nature of the beast, all right? And boom, there we go, okay. It does need setting powder. I just was doing that. So I have oily skin, and so I use a film forming setting spray, Blue Marble. You can get it on Amazon. All right, and then the blotting powder. This one's the moneymaker for oily. This is the moneymaker for any setting, whether you're dry skin, combination balanced, or whatever. This stuff has a sheen to it that lets your skin look like, I've already set, and my skin looks like my skin. Okay, so let's do our brows, and I'm gonna use the new pencils for my brows. It's so good, okay? It's great. I am gonna use, what color did I use yesterday? Hold on, let me look at my arm. Latte. Latte reminds me of oak and trust. So oak, I'll get my brush wet and it deepens it to look a little more like trust. So this is my eyeshadow palette for my brows. Open up. There we go. All right, so I keep a cleaning tile in here, but this is trust and this is oak, and that's the color I'm gonna use right here. And that is latte. So we're gonna grab a line brush. Don't judge my spoolies. We're gonna take a line brush. Okay, this, you've heard good things about the brow stuff. So everybody uses something different. People use contours, but our contours are still gonna have movability to them because they're supposed to live with your skin. I use eyeshadows, but it still moves. I've been noticing a lot of transfer over on my extended tail of my brow. We all know how I do my brows. This stuff, again, it moves really easy and it sets. So I used this yesterday and it was fantastic. Get yourself a little mirror. Again, I'm 44, so I'm getting this little, get yourself a little magnifying mirror. We're gonna take this brush, and again, these are really movable. So I'm just going to tap my brush angle on, and then I'm gonna start and I'm gonna extend my brow. So we can see where my natural brow is. I'm gonna go down and out, and I'm gonna draw my natural line here. Up and over, grab some more, and we're gonna go outward, and we're gonna extend that tail. Then I'm gonna come right here and I'm gonna give myself some hair flicks, and I'm gonna blend this upward because again, this stuff sets really fast. So we're just gonna give those hair flicks right here, and we're gonna blend as we need, clean things up a little bit before it sets. This stuff you need to work with really quickly. And I bring my brows in a little farther in than probably most people say, but at my age, these are my boss brows, okay? Nobody messes with me when I got these brows I'm putting on. This brow tells you she seems pretty passive. We could probably get her to volunteer some extra hours for swim team. But then I put on my boss brows and nobody asks me squat. They say I seem unapproachable. So let's get some unapproachable brows on. So we go 1/4 of the way in, we go up, follow that arch, and then we're gonna bring it down, add some brows because I overplucked back in 1994 because of Pamela Anderson on Baywatch. And so now I have to draw my brows on out here. And these are my boss brows. And so I'm gonna take that spoolie and I'm just gonna give everything a little blend. I'm gonna be a little more careful because this stuff blends so easy. And then I'm going to buff this line here out. This is such a good color. I really like these pencils. If you like those hair strokes, I mean, that's a boss brow, right? Okay, boss brow. I'll be doing a new tutorial. I haven't gotten this excited about Seints new products in a long ass time. In a long time. Okay, so we're gonna grab this again and we're gonna start and add. So I have a natural brow that darts upward. Let's zoom in more. Okay, we have my brow looking a little weird. We're gonna square it up. So I'm just gonna go from where I'm gonna start that front line. I'm gonna add to the bottom and just make it a little more structured. What am I doing? I'm used to a palette. And then we're gonna go right here. We're gonna flick up. You really just wanna get a good structure on that front to get some real bossing going. And just grab as you need. And then we're gonna follow that arch. And I wanna pin my hair, but I don't feel like I have that much time with this setting. And then we're gonna extend that tail out. Okay, you wanna do your brows last, maybe not with this product, and maybe I'll try that maybe next week's live on Monday. But I always biff up my brows doing my contour. But then we're just gonna add that arch, and then we're gonna extend that tail, we're gonna fill it in, we're gonna grab a little more, and we're just gonna start adding some hair strokes. Adding some hair strokes for a natural front for some boss brows. And then you can look. Now, here's the thing with brows. They're sisters, not twins. And so just keep building and tweaking. Grab that spoolie, give everything a good little blenderoo. Soften things up, bang, bang, boom, boss brows. I feel like this one over here is very bold. So we're gonna see what we can, let's try blending it down. Boy, you really gotta grind on it. I'm gonna grab, because you gotta grind on it a little bit. These are so good. I forgot to get the satins. Yeah, the satins, they're more of a lip color, but things don't move. I'm gonna grab the pointy end here and I'm just gonna try to lighten some things up because that feels real. That's a new product, boy. That really does set. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out, like all things practice. Okay, so the brow colors that I use, the brow color I used is Latte. It's Latte. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with Latte. And remember the movability, okay? So we're gonna do our lips with my favorite lip trick. Everybody loves my lip trick. So we're gonna do the lip trick. We're gonna contour our lips and we're gonna make my dad lips look like babe lips. So what we're gonna do is, I'm actually gonna do, I'm trying to figure this out. We're gonna take this latte color. We're gonna go right here on the mid-under, okay? Mid-under, and then we're gonna get into the gelatos. Okay, so we're gonna go down here. Give ourselves a little soul patch and a little Gomez Adams. And then I go up just a touch. We're gonna use our finger quickly and we're gonna buff this outward. We're just adding a little shadow, okay? Little shadow. If you have to pull this onto the lip, pull it onto the lip, push this up, but buff this out. Some people say you can use these for contours. I just don't recommend it because I think it's gonna make your makeup look uneven throughout the day because the rest of your makeup's movable and this isn't. I just think it can look bad and I don't like bad makeup. So just adding that little shadow structured my lips a little bit. And again, I used the color Latte. And then I'm gonna go in with my brightening shade here. Now remember, these are 80% pigmentation. We're gonna brighten and create contrast right here and here. okay? Contrast, building, 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 and we're just tapping this out. Now this isn't gonna set, this is gonna live with my skin, but this just snatches up the corners a little bit. I also push this in onto my bottom lip here because if you look at your lips, you have 2 lip lines. And you'll see right out here is where that other lip line lives. You got your regular lip line that kind of fades, and then you got an inner lip line right there. You can kind of see it on me. This is my inner, and then I got another one out here that I covered up, okay? And you wanna live on that inner lip line when you're lining your lips. And I'm PO'd that I didn't get those darn silks. Is it silk? Satins. Okay, so again, remember, these set like crazy, okay? Okay? I have never found, I've seen where people put that on and then they put their setting powder on. They're like, look, no, this bad boy, I mean, I'm grinding on it, okay? Now, let's talk about gelatos because those are coming out next. I feel like I might be forgetting something, but I don't know. But my top, I have some top picks already with the gelatos. These gelatos are so, so soft, all right? There's raspberry. Now, when you pop these open, you barely push. Do you see how much I have out? These, if you twist these out too far, it will break it. It will come off. These are so soft. So this is raspberry. You gotta be so careful. These are really juicy and shiny. This is raspberry, but also remember, you can easily blend these down, okay? So you can blend them down. These are so good, all right? Longevity-wise, don't know. I don't know yet, okay? This is the color pomegranate, and I find that pomegranate is more of the blue-red. So if anybody understands those lip colors where they pull too orange, this one is more of a blue-red. It's a darker, it's a little bit on the deeper end. Now, I'm not a red girl. My favorite red is the Pat McGrath Labs Biscuits in Elson 4. This was the Taylor Swift lip color. It's not quite as deep as that one. It's really good, but there's this one, pomegranate, which is a deeper red, and then we have hibiscus, which I find to be more of a bright red, obviously, okay? These are so, like when I say they're soft, they are shockingly soft. Like I am surprised these are even in a tube. They are shockingly soft, okay? The next color I'm gonna go into is melon. This one reminds me of, oh, what was that color that we used to have? I have it right here because I was supposed to give it to somebody. Venice. If you wish you had gotten Venice, this is it. This is it. You want to get melon. It's basically Venice, and it's so good. They discontinued Venice because it was too creamy. I'm, again, shocked that these are in a tube. They're skinnier than I expected. I was expecting them to be the size of the Juicy Lips, and they're not. Next color, we'll go bright. This is Sugar Plum. Oh, Sugar Plum is one of my favorites. It's a top pick, but you see the size difference? Wait, where's my lid? There it is. Okay, so they're a little bit, there's less product in them. Okay, I'm gonna hold this one off till the end because it's my favorite one, I believe. Okay, next color I'm gonna go into is Dolce. This one is the color of my lips. It's super neutral. This would go really well with my Renaissance liner I love, but it has a real Desert Sunset Lip and Cheek, if you know that one, but it's very neutral, very nude. Very pretty. The next color is Strawberry. This is a nice, this is very sheer, but it is a pink, but it is very sheer. It's a very sheer pink, all right? The next color I'm going into is gonna be, sorry, I'm trying to have some purpose. This one is Cotton Candy. This one is a very pigmented pink. It's gonna come off just like this one. All right, so right here, this one has that very bright pink to it, if you can see that. Okay, very bright pink, super pretty if you're one of those. My sister-in-law, that is her color right there. All right, this is one of my top picks, and this one is Sugar Plum. This one has some shimmer to it. You don't want much more than this sticking out, okay? Sugar Plum is a really pretty pink. It's super pretty, and it has little flecks of pink in it, or shimmer, really pretty. And then my last pick is, where'd you go? Cocomera. I'm saying it wrong, okay? Cocomera. So this one is also, this reminds me of Summer Love, if you know that lip and cheek color. And that's this one. This one's a top. These two right here have been top picks with artists because we're the only ones that can buy them right now. So those are the gelatos. When I say they're soft, they're so stinking soft, okay? I want to lighten up my eyeshadow. Honestly, I feel like it's a little deep. And I got to go be a swim coach today. I look like I'm ready to go get bedazzled up. Okay, somebody did Chai as a lip liner, which I can't get on board with really. Because dang. But they did Chai. I'm terrified. So when you line your lips after you've contoured them, you don't want to outer line. Outer line, everybody can see your outer lining. You're not fooling anybody, and it's really not making your lips look bigger. It just means that you colored outside the lines. Nobody won a coloring contest that way. Just remember that. So we're gonna line the edge of the lips, and I'm gonna be quick with the top lip. These go on crazy soft. I have a little breakout on my lip, and I'm gonna tap the edge just to soften it. Lip liner will help your lips look fuller. We're gonna go right here on the inner, and then, well, let's go to the inner lip line, and then meet the lip. And it just adds lift to your lip. Okay, you're not gonna look like one of those sad fish at the aquarium. I only say that because we're in aquarium town. That's why I always talk about, if you're on the lives and you hear me say it all the time, it's because I live in a town with an aquarium. So I'm always seeing the sad fish at the aquarium. Okay, there you go. Chai as a lip liner. I'm excited to try the satins because they have a color that looks like it could be like Renaissance, and I do like the way stick liners apply. Okay, I'm gonna do Cocomera. Cocomera? I'm saying it wrong, but it's C-O-C-O-M-E-R-O. To me, it says Cocomera, but somebody yesterday said it's Cocomera, and it's supposed to have that Spanish sound. I can't. That's why I failed Spanish. I can't say mija. Like everybody, that eyeshadow color, that pink that I love, mija, everybody had a hard time calling it mija, but I watched Wizards of Waverly play, so I know how to say it. So this is Cocomera, and it's that neutral color, and we're gonna put that on. It applies easier on the lips than it does on the arm, okay? Because you got the nice soft lips, and your arm's not quite as soft. Well, mine's not, but that's super pretty. A really nice, if you're gonna do a dark eye like this, you want a nice neutral lip. This is actually very pretty. I feel like a lot of people, I'm one of them, I used to take a few colors of lip gloss. I would take a lipstick that was super neutral. I think it was like Flesh Pot. And then I would top it with a more neutral gloss and make a combo. This has pigment and gloss into it. It's not sticky like a gloss, and it's really hydrating. It almost feels like a lip oil. I'm not sure about longevity. I'll keep you posted. These come out Monday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Okay, so they're just called pencils. I don't even know what they're supposed to be called because I didn't bring my computer up here. So the thing with these are, they're all pencils. There's just, it's like lip and gloss, the lip and cheeks. You get lip and cheeks, and some are a satin, and some are a semi-gloss, and some are a matte. So the pencils are pencils, except there's silks, that set. So they go on really smooth and then they blend out really well, but they will set. And that's what these are, okay? So again, they just don't move. And then you have satins, and those ones will move. They won't set the way that these do. So these won't budge. The next ones will. I'm hoping to have them by Monday. And those ones will move and not set. So I'm calling the silks eye pencils, and I'm calling the satins lip pencils. And that's just me. They didn't do it. I did it. Because that's what I think. I want to know that what I put on my eye is going to stay put. And that's what these do. So this, I used black, and I waterlined. And if anybody's ever, I want you to see this under eye here. Do you see that skin? Because I didn't waterline my lower lash line, but also nothing transferred onto my lower lash line. And they're hydrated. I don't want to use the M word because I know people are very the N word. Doesn't bother me. But the word especially does. Especially bothers me because people put a C in it and it makes me mad. It's when people say moist and cringe, I cringe when somebody says especially. Anyway, the waterline is nice and still waterlined. Look at that. I look like a crazy person, but it's waterlined still. And I've been on here for over an hour. So it is waterlined, and I waterlined it pretty early on. So I would say it's been on for about an hour, and it's still there, and there is no transfer. No transfer. And I brought it in farther than usual because when I use my favorite, which is Maybelline Tattoo Studio, I use the heck out of this. If anybody here's a regular, they know, and they can say she's right. So tell them I'm right. I don't go in past where my lashes stop growing because I don't want transfer and gunkiness. I don't use shimmers on my inner corners, and I don't like transferred liner on my inner corner because I think it makes my eyelids look more mature, and I think that it looks gunky and gross. And so this doesn't transfer, and I was able to play with this one yesterday, so I know for sure I could do it because it didn't do it yesterday. I think Chai is a very beautiful brown. If you're these, you can make these lip liners. You've just got to work with them fast, or they're going to, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. You've got to work with them fast. Otherwise, they're going to set. I don't recommend them as a contour for your face. I don't recommend them. I don't recommend the satins for your eyes because they will crease. Whereas these, I've used the cinnamon. It was either cinnamon or espresso because they both are the same and they look like Philly. I put them on as an eyeshadow. They might have been, anyway, whatever, Amanda. But I put them on as an eyeshadow without any primer, and they did not crease, and I had them on for hours. So these pencils, if you have mature lids, maturing lids, if you want to put it on, you want to have a good smoky eye, if you want a good wing, but you don't want that transfer onto your upper lid, that happens all the time. How many people do you talk to that every time they blink, you see that liner dash? If you don't want that, these are your pencils. If you don't want the full face of makeup, but you want a good liner, you get these pencils. So I'm going to be making as many tutorials as I can this week, or this weekend. I'm going to try to make the heck out of these videos so that they're out. I'm going to be throwing stuff out all weekend, multiple videos a day. But please subscribe, like, all the things, turn on notifications. I try to give heads ups in my posts on here when I'm going to go live. I did it yesterday. I don't know how many people saw it. I don't get I don't get that information. Only on my videos I do. But I support my family with this. This is my job. And so I'd love for you to support me. But also I give my ride or die true opinions about things. And I love the blackberry. I think if you're really wanting another pencil, skip the blackberry. If you have black cherry, I think that's what people are expecting out of blackberry is the black cherry lip and cheek. I have it. Black cherry is what I think people are expecting out of the blackberry. which is this color. And if you like, so this is what I think people are expecting out of the blackberry. I'm gonna get more. And it is a gloss and it's really pretty. So if this is what you're hoping to get, go get black cherry, because this bad boy is pH'd. It's gonna look different. You can get, like, it turns purple on me. I expected it to pull this color and I already have it. And I kind of got disappointed at the beginning, but I already have the color because I have black cherry. Okay, so we're gonna wipe these off so I don't get it all over my sweater. But the only thing came off is this. Is my lip color transfer proof? Yes and no. My lip liner, no. So I contoured with the lip liner. What color did I transfer with? Latte. I contoured my lips down here with Latte, and then I lined my lips with Chai. Those colors will not transfer and they will not move. So they're set, they're gonna be there. However, the shiny stuff on my lips, yes, it does come off. It's makeup, not magic. If you're looking for lipstick that's gonna stay and not move, I would go get Lip Sense. That's what I use when I do fancy events, and my brother-in-law we went to a wine tasting once and he had to sit across from me, or a wine pairing. And he noticed my red lip wasn't on my glass because he hates, and a lot of guys I think feel that way. There are some guys that just, it's a deal breaker if their lipstick is all gunked up on their glass. And so, just saying. Okay, if I use the lip liner all over my lips, I would say not gonna transfer. I'm gonna say wouldn't transfer. However, these are all shades of brown. I don't like brown lipstick on me. The lip satins, we'll see what happens when I get them. I know they're not gonna set the way that these are. I like using lip liner as a lipstick, and then I can put something light on it. I like the lip whip. I love the lip oils. I just got a new lip oil because I ran out. So as you buy, for every dollar you spend, you earn points with Saint. And you can cash out and get things you can't buy with Saint. And one of them is this oil. This is my favorite lip oil. It's always been Chai. This is my new favorite. And it's such a pretty, I keep it in my car. This one's having a hard time. I don't know if it's the thingy or what. This one's having a hard time, but this one goes on and it brings out a really pretty natural flushness to your lips. And it's so pretty. It is absolutely, I put it on with nothing else on. It's really pretty. So get the Sprinkles lip oil if you have points and you're looking to cash them out. The other thing I would say is worth your points is this makeup bag, because it Velcros right here, zips shut, but then it's also a box, so your stuff's not going to slip away, and it also has a zipper on the inside. So I think those are worth it. There's another palette you can get with points. I don't know where it is. I have it somewhere, but it's called a convertible palette, and the bottom layer magnetizes off. I just don't know where I put it. I have it somewhere and I've misplaced it. But it has the bottom layer. If you get, it's a palette 18, and then instead of this just being attached, this magnetizes off. But yes, you could use the lip, or use these silk pencils all over your lip and they won't move. I don't know about the longevity of them because I wouldn't put this color, but I'm telling you, I'm excited to try cinnamon or espresso. I'm gonna use those as an eyeliner tomorrow because I really want to see what those look like. But these new products, I haven't been this excited for new products in a long time. They don't all fit in your palette. I don't care. I like a good lip product. I'm a lipstick girl first. I really do like these gelatos a lot. I think that they're gonna be not everybody's gonna love them. I do think, in my personal opinion, I would probably go get the Tarte Juicy Lips over these because of the price to quantity size. But they're such good colors. My favorite one, I probably shouldn't say that, but I would spend all my money on the pencils if it were me. And that's what a lot of artists are saying. But the Juicy ones, I mean, I'm almost out of this one. This is the color Rose. Oops. And I didn't see one come through this way, but this is such a pretty, that's a color that will look good on probably almost anybody. It's really beautiful, but I think, in my opinion, get the lip pencils, get the eye pencils. I really love the palettes. The marble palette is stunning. This is my favorite palette of all time. I was bummed when they discontinued it. There is one other one that I didn't get my hands on. I'm hoping they come out maybe at Black Friday, but these palettes are so good. So the marble palette's coming out, and the checkerboard. You get checkerboard and those palette twos that I was playing with. I think there's other palette twos available. I personally got this one in a 12, and I love it because it's easy to clean. This is also easy to clean. I've had this thing for almost 6 years, and this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like after 6 years. The seam is not busting apart at all. It's not separating anywhere. It's not peeling anywhere. They last. They're really good. They're great quality. I have a bunch because I'm addicted to palettes. I mean, I have, look at all that. That's all palettes right there. I've got palettes down here, palettes up here. This is probably my favorite. I even have it in an 18. This is the most popular size, is an 18, but I have this one in 18 because it cleans really easy. And then 12 is a great starter size. Travel size wise, if you're going to be traveling a lot, I get the triple decker. I really like this size, but everybody's different. That's it. That's my life. That's the new releases. We did some makeup. I am going to redo this eye look in its own tutorial with available colors. Soft but sweet. I think it's really good. But I think I found my new combo for my sunset eyes, and there's gonna be a lot of tutorials coming out, but this week, and I'll be rolling out, I think, shorts or reels or whatever the heck they're called here. But I will be rolling out different shorts for these shades. And gosh, I hope I get the lip colors soon because I'm so mad that I missed that. But I will have a gelato one. I will have I'm considering these silks to be eye pencils. The lip pencils I will come out with too with them. The Pilot brush already has a video out. Get the Pilot brush. This is your travel brush, but I think this is a good everyday brush. I think the inside eyeshadow brush is better than the eyeshadow brush. And the black bristles are so good. I'm kind of kicking myself for not getting the black one, but I have boundaries, guys. I have boundaries. I didn't get the balm in the pot because I have the balm in the palette. I would say get the balm in the tin over the pot. I think you're going to save yourself $7 so you can go buy a coffee, and it fits in your palette. And you're going to use the heck out of it, so it might as well be in your palette because you're going to use it to prep your eyes. You're going to be using it. It's really great to use as an illuminator. So if you ever feel like you have dry skin, you can just grab that balm and you could just tap it on, and it just creates a little extra yumminess instead of having shimmer. I'm not a big shimmer fan, but the balm can be used as a way of doing a highlight. It's great on the lips, great under the eyes. It's great, 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 great. But get it in the tin. Save the $7. Get it in the tin. You don't need it in the pot. Get the black eyeliner. It's the best black eyeliner you'll ever buy. Ever. I've tried a lot. And I always go back to Maybelline Tattoo Studio, and I've spent a good fair amount on a single pencil. This is the best black eyeliner you'll ever buy. Top pick, black eyeliner. If you like brown eyeliner, go get cinnamon. Best eyeliner you'll ever buy. I'm telling you, hands down, there's no liners that do that. Maybe I should do that with my Maybelline. I have Cliniques. It just doesn't go on as well. We're going to let that sit for a minute. But I'm telling you, these silks are the best liners you'll ever get. The gelatos, oh, they're really hydrating. They feel more like a lip oil. They're between a gloss and a lipstick. They feel like a lip oil. It feels really good on the lips. I think this one looks really good. This is Kokomura. And then my other favorite is Sugar Plum. Is it Sugar Plum? Yeah. And hey, I like Sugar Plum because I was in the Nutcracker a long time ago, but I was in the Nutcracker. So this is Sugar Plum. And it's a really pretty pink. It doesn't go with my eye color that I got going on today, but this is a really pretty pink. So if you want pink, go get Sugar Plum. If you want neutral, go get Kookaburra. If you want super, super neutral, go get Dolce. These are my top 3 picks because I'm not a red person. I'm not a deep lip person. But these 3 colors are my favorites. So Sugar Plum, Kookaburra, and Biscuits, Dolce. Let's try Dolce real quick. So this is the pink. Ugh. And Dolce. Dolce has a bit of peach to it, but that's Dolce. Very nice, very neutral. A little more pigmented than these 2 here, so I only had to put it on my bottom lip and it transferred around just fine. So these are my 3 top picks, but my top 2 are Sugar Plum and Kookaburra. And I hope I'm saying that right because I hate when people say things wrong. But Maybelline Tattoo Studio. So we've got these going on, and then we've got this one. It doesn't, all right. I hope that helps. Best eyeliners you'll ever buy. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go and I gotta go do some real work. My regular work, my wifely duties. So I'm gonna go make my bed and do some laundry. And that's it. So I will be back here Monday morning, 8:30 Pacific time, live, doing my makeup like I do every Monday. I'd love to have you here. Love to see you there. Subscribe, turn on notifications, all the things. And on Monday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and noon is the drop of the new products. Let's go shopping and let's have fun. I went shopping. It was fun. I love all the products. I like when you can buy everything in one place and you're not paying all the different websites and trying to track all the different things. All your makeup fits in one place. It's highly pigmented. It's an affordable price. Bing, bang, boom. Buy my makeup. Message me. Let's do a color match and have a great day.